It's no secret that starting a Pokemon collection in today's Pokemon market can be overwhelming. The truth is, Pokemon is currently more popular than it's ever been before. Not only are there so many new sets to collect, but because of the recent spike in popularity, the demand for Pokemon cards is also higher than it's ever been, making availability for Pokemon cards extremely scarce. And that scarcity is causing prices for Pokemon cards to soar higher than we've ever seen. So what's the best way to start a Pokemon collection leading into 2026? And what are some things to look out for to make sure you're able to build a Pokemon collection that you love while avoiding the many mistakes that new collectors end up falling into? Well, in this video, I'll be going over my top tips that every Pokemon collector or anyone just entering the hobby looking to collect Pokemon needs to know to build an amazing Pokemon collection. Tip number one is going to be your why. You want to identify your goals for collecting Pokemon. Why are you collecting, and what kind of collector do you want to be? There's different kinds. Do you want to collect graded cards? Do you want to do master sets? Are you someone who's interested in playing the TCG and you want to build decks? There's so many different ways to collect Pokemon these days that understanding your why really is going to help you right off the bat. And it's important to know that your goals may change over time. For instance, I used to only just collect expensive cards. I wasn't really into grading. I wasn't into master sets or anything like that. And recently, I've tried to diversify myself a little bit more and do a little bit of each. I have some master sets that I'm working on. I have some graded cards that I collect, cards that I really resonate with me that I think are cool, even if they're not the most expensive cards. It's just really important to collect because you love collecting. So collect what you really, really like and what you enjoy. I encourage everyone to try each one and see which is your why. Like, why do you want to collect Pokemon, or which kind of collector do you want to be? And once you figure that out, stick to it. But also know that your preference may change over time. Your goals may change over time, and that's okay. The current prices of Pokemon cards in this market are extremely inflated and highly volatile. It's important for your wallet to try and collect as close to MSRP as possible. Whether that's sealed products or graded cards, you really want to try and get the best price possible to keep your costs down. When it comes to sealed, I like to collect based on pack price. If I'm collecting a certain collection price, I want to get the best dollar per pack value that I can find possible. And MSRP is normally the best way to go. But how do we find MSRP products when availability is so scarce? Well, one thing you can do, which I've done recently, is finding restocks. If you're able to hit different grocery stores or different places, big box retail that has Pokemon cards, a lot of the time with a little bit of effort and just talking to staff members or other people who are there collecting, you're able to find out when the restocks are. And hopefully one of those restocks will align with one of your days off from work. Not all of us can just go to stores every day. We have jobs and we have bills to pay and stuff like that. So finding a local restock is really an awesome way to get cards for a lot cheaper to help you build your collection and make it more cost effective for you. I just happened to grocery shop at a local Meijer grocery store and found a restock just because I would go there, I would get my groceries and I would check the card aisle. And it's just one of the times that I happened to go, they were restocking. And I talked to some of the people in line and they said, yeah, every Thursday they restock these. And I was like, that's awesome. I get paid every other Thursday and it just happens to be my day off. So I was able to help grow my collection in a way more cost-effective manner by finding MSRP. If you're unable to find any restocks locally, there are certain Discord servers and apps like PokeNotify. No sponsorship or affiliation with PokeNotify. I do pay monthly for their Discord access, and they will give you updates with product links to restocks online, so you're able to try and get product as it drops on stores online almost daily. The only problem with this is you are fighting people who are running bot scripts, and bots are a lot faster than humans are at checking out. You got to be quick. Every once in a while, you'll be able to get something. I've been able to hit restocks on PokemonCenter.com. I was able to get Pokemon Center exclusive Phantasmal Flame ETBs, Destined Rivals Pokemon exclusive ETBs. I was even able to get booster bundles of Black and White and some ETBs off of Macy's by using PokeNotify's service. Tip number 3 is you don't have to collect every single set. There's always going to be a lot of hype for every new release, but just know that Hype usually creates FOMO, and it causes these massive price swings to just shoot up, where the price of that new release set, that's the new hottest thing, can sometimes be out of the budget of a lot of us collectors. So my biggest tip here is you have to figure out what excites you and try to collect that. Don't always just go for the hype. One of the biggest tips is avoiding hype inside this hobby. I find it really useful to go and try and collect where other people aren't really looking. Like right now, Phantasmal Flames and Mega Evolutions are the two newest sets, and they're super hype and they're super popular. Prices for them are very high, but since so many people are focused on those sets, you can go back and collect other sets that are just kind of stagnant, that are just kind of chilling, beautiful sets that have amazing cards in them. You can even go back and collect vintage. Vintage has been slowly decreasing just a little bit. I'm currently on a mission to collect every single one of the first edition holos from the original Team Rocket set from 2000 in PSA 8s. PSA 8s are super nice cards, and they're super cheap, to be honest. Most of them I haven't even paid $100 for. There's 18 of them, so you know, that seems like a little bit of a chunk of change, but in the retrospect, some of those cards in PSA 10 are over $1,800 a piece. So to be able to grab one for my collection for $80 isn't really that big of a deal. And when I have the whole thing finished and they're all hanging up on the wall there, it's going to look really awesome. And that's a super nostalgic set to me. So that goes back in hand with collecting what excites you. The first edition Dark Charizard from Team Rocket was one of the first chase cards that I ever pulled when I was 10 years old. I still have that card to this day. I haven't graded it yet. I'm not even sure what kind of grade it would get if I were to send it in. Just having nostalgia for that set made me want to go off and chase those. Even if they're not perfect 10s, they still have a special place in my heart as a collector. So collect what excites you, and look elsewhere when people are following the trend or the hype wave of the new sets. Try and avoid those hype waves. If you see cards like the Seismitoad this year was super pumped, the Mars Shadow that just came out inside Mega Evolutions was super pumped. A lot of people bought those cards due to FOMO, and they overpaid a lot, and those cards have already started to decline by nearly 40 to 50%. When you get into a hobby that's this expensive, you don't want to be overpaying for cards like that. And another way to just avoid that is also waiting. Phantasmal Flames is just around the corner. It literally comes out, I think, this week. Anytime there's pre-release, those prices for pre-release sets are going to be way higher. The singles are going to be higher. The sealed product's going to be higher. After the release, those prices tend to fall down just a little bit. And over the course of like a month or two, once the set's been out for a little bit, it's been into print, they tend to level out. So don't overpay during pre-release. Wait for the hype to die down a little bit, because at this point, there's been a new Pokemon set coming out almost every 2 to 3 months. There's a lot of sets. There's just so many of them. Collect what excites you, avoid the hype waves, and just don't overpay during pre-release or during release of new sets. Which brings me to tip number 4. Master sets. Mastering a set can be extremely expensive, especially for these newer sets. Card prices are super inflated, and something you don't want to do is overpay when you're trying to collect every single card in a set. One of the biggest tips that I like is not paying for mint cards. If I'm going to master set something where these cards are going to stay inside a binder and be flipped through often and enjoyed that way and sit on the shelf, it's better to find like light played or moderately played cards for your master sets, because the price is going to be so much less expensive than if you were getting those really mint cards. It's just not cost effective. It's going to save you a lot of money in the long run. So tip number 4, if you're master setting, don't go for the minty cards. Go for light played or even moderately played, depending. The price of the cards is going to be so much better. Tip number 5, in regards to grading cards. If you're the type of person who's going to collect graded cards, or you want to start grading some of the cards that you've pulled from packs that you were able to get, take the time to research and learn what it takes to properly identify what a card needs to have in order to be graded a 10. There's plenty of videos online about what to look for when pre-grading cards. There's also a ton of tools to help you better understand what it takes to get a 10 if you are going to be sending cards into grading. This can save you a ton of money and help you grow your personal collection value by a ton, because the difference between a PSA 9 and a PSA 10 is like sometimes 10 times as much depending on the card. But a lot of the times a PSA 9 is almost going to be the same price as the card raw. So if you're trying to grade cards to increase the value of your collection, take the time to learn and understand what it takes to pre-grade before sending in cards and submitting them to PSA for grading. Tip number 6 for all you pack rippers out there, if you're ripping and chasing cards, something you're going to notice is you're going to end up with a ton of bulk cards. And that's the thing, bulk cards are not just junk. You can actually make a lot of money back selling your bulk cards on eBay. Some tips I have for selling bulk on eBay or even trading them into your local card store. Sometimes the local card stores will do trade-ins of bulk for store credit, which is awesome. You can get more product that way. Product for the sealed collection, product for you to rip. But specifically, if you're going to be selling bulk cards on eBay, knowing which playable cards are worth more than others is a super important part of recouping some of that money when opening packs. Some trainer cards that are highly playable go for $1, where other ones are only like 6 cents. So knowing the difference and being able to sift through your cards properly to find which ones are going to be worth keeping or which ones are going to be worth selling for a profit a little bit, you know, to help recoup your money is very important. On top of that, when you're making listings on eBay to sell cards that you don't want, EXs, V cards, take the time to take high quality pictures of those cards. The highest quality picture you can get possible. People will pay more for a listed card with a higher quality picture than the same card, same quality that's got a lower quality picture. This way you're able to charge almost a little bit more. Like I said, people will pay a little bit more. And then when you're dealing with things like eBay fees and shipping fees, it's going to help you recoup some of that cost and some of that loss from selling on eBay. Bulk cards are definitely worth money. So keeping them is a really good way to help reduce your cost when collecting. And especially those playable bulk cards. The Lily's Determination right now, that card, just the basic non-hollow, is selling for like $1, I think. Everyone wants 4 of them in their deck. So those cards have some value to them. So understanding the difference and then taking the necessary steps accordingly when getting rid of your bulk can help save you a ton of money while starting your new Pokemon collection. Using all of these tips when starting to collect Pokemon can really help any collector build an amazing Pokemon collection without breaking the bank and draining your wallet. And if you're interested in collecting Pokemon on a budget, click the video that's appearing on screen to see my top 15 budget Pokemon cards under $20 that I think every collector should have inside their collection. So if you want to know which Pokemon cards to collect on a budget, click the video that's appearing on the screen right here, and I'll see you there.